All right. Before we begin, I'd like to first start off with our praise, all honor, and all glory to the Most High.
Yahweh Bahashim, Yahushua Bahashim Krakodash.
Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, Shalom, and Shalom to hopefully with
Shalom, shalom.
All right. And as you can see, today's sit down will be titled Dreams and Visions are Prophesied, but it actually comes fast. All right. And again, of course, it's basically inspired by the spirit of power, Yahushua. Right. But just want to touch on dreams and visions because as of lately, more people have been seeing dreams and visions, right? And of course, when people wake up, it's hard. A lot of times, it's hard to remember these dreams or visions, or it's even hard to interpret them. Right? It's hard to because we have corner dreams in the world. We had dreams before we came to this truth, and still to this day we don't understand what they mean. But that's where the prophets come into play. All right, where the men of the Lord come into play, because even in the ancient days, you had many accounts where kings may have had dreams, or children had dreams, and they would always ask their wise men, and their wise men couldn't interpret the dreams accurately. All right, but we would always have a prophet. We would always have a man of the Lord who would interpret their dream to the exact T, and it would always come to pass. So that's what you see today. All right, you see people having dreams, and they get on, whether it be Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and they share these dreams, and the prophets break these dreams down. All right, because to them it don't make sense. All right, it's a whole bunch of emotions, but to the men of the Lord, it's prophecy. All right, it's World War III or Jacob's Trouble or some of that nature. All right, if y'all ain't got that, we can grab that Amos real quick. Amos 3:7. I want to say you reveal the secrets of the prophets, because ultimately a dream is a secret thing, right? Because that's between you and the Heavenly Father, right? Because ultimately these dreams come from the heavens, from the Heavenly Father, right? Even nightmares, right? So-called nightmares, right?
That's how it is bad. So in 11, it said they overcame by the blood of the Lamb, and by the word of their testimony. They know not their lives unto death, right? When you go into that word of testimony, Revelation 19, right? It says, Revelation 19:10 says, "And I fell at his feet to worship him. He said unto me, See thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahushua. For the testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy," right? So understanding that, like brother saying, you having these dreams and visions and whatnot, but you understand, as Revelation 12:11 lets us know, that's one way we're gonna overcome, this beast, gonna overcome Esau, in this beast system, in this wicked kingdom, right? You had times before where, like brother mentioned, how the prophets, even when Yahushua telling them what was gonna happen to Jerusalem. Many listened, many didn't, but you understand these visions or these prophecies, the prophets would tell you beforehand before they would go down. So ultimately, if you listen, you fear the Lord, you would listen to these things and prepare yourself for the time to come.
And not to go too far, but those same men or those same kings are back to they having these same dreams, and it's up to the prophets to interpret them. All right, of course we can't hear their dreams, but when they hear us on the highways and byways, they watching. All right, the elites, everybody's watching the prophets, everybody's watching the Hebrew Israelites, and they're hearing these breakdowns, and they say, I dreamed that, right?
You on that Amos, and I also I got a precept that I was gonna read, but I really just talk about it because I think you had mentioned something like you always had prophets who or seers or things of that nature who decipher dreams and things of that nature who that was a spiritual gift in a sense, but it was just an account with if I'm not mistaken, it was an account with I think it was King Ahab, and he didn't like I think it was Micaiah. I'm just gonna read this. First Kings 22:8, or I'll read up a little bit to get the context of it. So First Kings 22 and sorry, 7. It says, and Jehoshaphat said, is there not here a prophet of the Lord besides that we might inquire of him? And the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, there is yet one man, Micaiah, son of Imlah, by whom we may inquire of the Lord. But I hate him, for he doth not prophesy good concerning me, but evil. And Jehoshaphat said, let not the king say so. So this is just an account of, like we're saying, by like you said, like you're about to say with Amos, the Lord reveals his secrets to the prophets, right? So as the prophets speak, as the prophets decipher dreams, decipher visions, things of that nature, the prophets are going to keep it straightforward. They're not going to hold back things. They're not going to hold back their sword from blood, right? They're not going to, like Paul said, he's clean of the blood of men. Why? Because he didn't hold his tongue back, right? He didn't spare anyone's feelings. But that was just an example or an account.
Another account of that with Nebuchadnezzar in Daniel chapter 2, when he had a dream.
That's the spirit. How was going to say that?
He had that dream and he was searched the wise man. The dream had woke him up out of sleep. Searched the wise man for that interpreted the dream for him.
Kind of didn't. Was it Joseph who deciphered dreams for? If I'm not mistaken. But this is the Amos 3.
I got to preach up back here. Isaiah 30 and 10, it reads, says, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophet, prophesy not, unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. And that's just proof that we are the prophets of doom. All right, because people want to hear smooth things, right? But we are prophets of destruction, we're prophets of death, right? Because when the Lord comes back, he's bringing what? Much death. All right, it's gonna be a dark day. But that's why people cleave to the Christian church, because they want to hear prosperity. People don't want to open the Bible and hear about death and destruction and murder and rape. All right, that's why they cleave to the Christian church, because you get prosperity doctrine, right?
You get to hear everything okay, everything all right, But yeah, so this is Amos 3 and 7, straight to the point. It says, surely the Lord Yahweh will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. Amos 3 and 7, surely the Lord Yahweh will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets.
It's simple as that. Only the prophets, all right? Only the prophets can interpret the dreams of men, all right? And I think now Esau got it where he's trying to, I watched the video, I got sent to the chat, but he's trying to record your dreams. Like he's trying to have AI track down the images that you dream and make a movie out of it, like piece it together. Why? Because he want to see what the Lord is showing you. All right, because he because ultimately, because the Lord is not gonna of course he can see you a dream of deceit. Ultimately, but a lot of times when he sees these dreams, it's for what? It's a warning. All right, it's for something to come to pass. Like the title said, he's not gonna send you something and you're not gonna see it, right?
Like, I don't know if brothers have experienced what the world calls deja vu, but that also goes into, because I've had moments where I'm experiencing the moment, I'm like, I swear I've seen this before somewhere, but that's all in the spirit of Yahweh Shemini Yahushua,
When you go into, I bring it out, when you go into Jeremiah 28:8, it tells you how Jeremiah 28:8, it says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against kingdoms of war and evil and pestilence. Right? So you go to you understand, like what it's saying, these people have visions, things and stuff, but these secrets are revealed to the prophets, right? And the prophets are prophets unto the nations. Not just prophets unto Israel, prophets to the nations. They tell you the downfall of what's to come. They tell you the downfall of what's to come and the glory of what's to come. They speaking of the goodness of Yahweh Shah. They speaking of the wickedness and destruction that's going to come upon this kingdom. In the fourth time, any other kingdoms, that was ruling. And the ones who hearkened unto that was those chosen men of Yahweh Shah who was given the wisdom to understand it. Even when you understand how the visions have Isaiah 13, even the Revelation, right? When Apostle John, he having the vision of the war in heaven, then you got Ezra, he having the vision of the war in heaven, right? They wrote it down to the best of their abilities, because the Most High showed them a vision of what's to come, They wrote it down to the best of their ability, right? And then you see how the spirit of the prophets is ascended to the prophets. Now that understanding, that breakdown is here today for you to show you, right? Because these things were written and it was given to them for them right now for record, right? For a time to come. You know, I think we're gonna appreciate that. Have a clip on us to bring out. These bridges was set for a time to come, you know, and all these things are gonna be fulfilled. But you know, these things are gonna lead up to these things, where you and also goes into the signs and wonders to show you when these visions would come more and more. But like, if we go to the account with Ezekiel 12, with the Most High using Ezekiel as a sign, you know, because he's showing Ezekiel, he's telling the people how the Babylonians are going to come and take them over if they don't tighten up. And he's showing Ezekiel what's going to happen, you know, and he's telling Ezekiel, when I show you what's going to happen, I'm going to use you as a sign to show them what's going to happen. And he's telling Ezekiel, you know, pack your things up as if you're going into captivity, but only take little things. If you packing up the lead, don't take no TV, no house, no couch. Pack up as if you're going to be taken captive, you know. And he asked him, Lord, what am I doing this for? And it's for you to be a sign for a vision to the people, to show them what's going to come if they don't tighten up. You know, so these prophets, they were set to do these things because the prophecies are going to be fulfilled. This was to show you to what's going to come, what's going to come to pass. You know, you had a lot of people who didn't hearken, but a lot of people who did. Right. Once again, going to the count with 66 AD to 70 AD, man. A lot of people didn't hearken, and they was caught up in that description that came.
I got that Habakkuk.
Okay.
So this is Habakkuk 2, and I just started 1. It says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower. I will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what shall I answer when I am reproved? And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it, right? So that's exactly, you know what I'm saying, what he did as in Habakkuk. That's what all the prophets did. You know, the apostles, you know, when they saw things, when they experienced things, when they were told things, you know, through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shah, right? They wrote the vision and they made it plain, you know. But as the scriptures say, these things are plain only to a certain amount of people, right? Which goes back to that Amos 3 and 8, right? Because it's only plain to the prophets, right? It's only plain to the holy, right? Like the scriptures say, you know.
Read it again.
Habakkuk 2 and 2, it says, and the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it.
God says that he may run that readeth it, meaning, because it's like it's right here. When I see somebody's testimony on YouTube or Instagram, whatever, and the apostles break it down, in my mind, I'm sure it's gonna happen. Like I'm like, okay, that's something to expect in their future, right? Because it's like when he says, he shall read it again.
Habakkuk 2 and 2, and the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it.
All right, and it's like in the world, people like, oh, you gonna run with that? So we running with, the end of the world. Like we taking that and we taking it to the bank. All right, we guarantee that these dreams that these people are having is gonna come to pass, man. Right.
Another quick precept. Going off of that point that the end of Habakkuk 2 and 2, it says that he may run that readeth it, right? That automatically makes me think of what Paul said, right? In 1 Corinthians chapter 9, I start at 24, right? Know ye not that they which run in the race run all, but one receiveth the prize. So run that ye may obtain, right? So again, that goes into, the prophets are like I said, like the scriptures say, these things are written aforetime for our learning, right? So now that we in today's age, right, have been woken up through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shah, we take these things as being those holy people who understand these things, and we taking it and running with it. We doing our job. We're doing what we're supposed to do, so that way we may obtain what? That salvation that's spoken of. But
It goes to that, how the brother read the Isaiah 30 and 20, how, like the brother said, we looking forward to the end of this place, but we know prophecy tells us that this place is going to end, for this thing's going to come to pass, and this place is going to be a downfall. But they're going to the fact how, 2/3, they don't want to hear those things, right? Because they're so caught up in the affairs of this world. So when the prophets, sister maybe when you speak of these things with these prophecies, or somebody having a vision of the downfall of this world, or having a vision of something of that such, and they put it on social media or whatnot. Yeah, they pay attention to it, but they look at it in an entertainment form of like, as if not taking it as serious as it is. As Brother said, we take it, that gives us a glimpse to the future. We run with it, understand the fact of like, hey, we need to, gird up my loins more and more because, most high not doing this in a sense for you to go viral or in a sense for you to go get paid off of it. Now he's giving it to you because those watchmen, those sensitive men gonna see it and say, oh, that's when the scriptures speak about such and such, right? The scripture speaks about such and such, or this kind of path, that kind of path. World War III, the MOTB, Jacob's Trouble, right? So we see these things, these visions, right? That it shows, and the Most High put it within our minds or anyone's mind. Put it in your mind, for you to see it, right? Even at that point, I grab that Joel too. Right?
Every precept I
You
got.
can grab it?
Yeah, I already got to pull it up. I'll read it for you though.
You got it, you can go into it.
Kind. So this Joel 2:28, and it says, and it reads, and it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your and your daughters shall prophesy, your old men shall dream dreams, your young men shall see visions. Right? It's just like how the woman had a dream about her husband, her family taking the RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast. You just had the elder. Right, I forgot from what camp he was from, but he just had the.
I think in Mississippi.
Mississippi, yeah, kind. He just had the dream about, him being in that midst of destruction, the Lord saving him out of it. Right, you got a lot of dreams. You got people having dreams about the chariots or about the destruction of Babylon. Right, so the Lord is pouring out His flesh and pouring out His Spirit upon all flesh, not even just Israel, but upon the other nations as well, to see their destruction and things of that such as well. Right, you have the a lady, right, a woman that's in the truth where, she had a dream about the kingdom of heaven, right, and how we looked in the kingdom of heaven and how the other nations obeyed us and etc. Right, so the Lord is putting these visions out forward for us to, compare to the scriptures, right, to show them that, hey, these ain't just dreams, these are visions that the Lord is showing you, right? But
I got to back you up. This is Job 33, 15.
you might start at 14.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you might start at 14.
Say it again.
So you might start at 14.
This is Job 33. I started 13.
Kind.
It says, why dost thou strive against him when he gives not account of his matter? You can't even try to go against Yahweh. Even when it comes to these visions, okay, all of them gonna come to pass. Everything what he said, what he do, that's what it's gonna be.
Salakia, y'all finished that verse 3 in Habakkuk?
Uh-huh.
Okay, that'd be a good one to finish off.
It says, for Yahweh speaketh once, yet twice, yet men speaketh not. Right? It says, in the dream, in the vision of night, when deep sleep falls upon men and slumbers upon bed, then he openeth the ears of men and seals their instruction. Right? That he may withdraw man from his purpose and hide pride from man. So you gotta understand that the Most High needs he want these people to wake up and go straight to social media with these visions they have. And we understand spiritually, that's the Most High put the spirit on them, because you gotta think the internet doing the heavy lifting, was reaching out across the world in a sense, right? But the Most High put the spirit on them, to put the instruction in their head or show them vision within their head, or within their mind while they sleep, for them to get out and put it on the internet, put it out so the other people can see it. But it's all of His purpose, because once again, that's what we're going into, it's showing to those men who's watching and building that watchtower, as brother gonna get back to and have a cook, who's on that point to show you that, hey, we're getting closer and closer up in this race, we're getting closer and closer to the finish line, man. It's time to grit up, keep going. It ain't time to start slacking, it ain't time to start looking back, it ain't time for that, because you get to the point to where it's almost that time to wrap everything up. Even when you go to these leaders, Most High put the instructions in these leaders' mind, man. One day, this guy might wake up and do this. Wake up and do that, That's showing the elect man what? We getting closer to Jacob's Trouble. We getting closer to the MOTB. We getting closer to certain points to where these signs and wonders would show when these visions would be at hand, when these visions would be in effect.
And with that being said, this Habakkuk 2 and 3, it says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. So you gotta know and understand that when someone has these visions, right, and they, put it out there, or even with the prophets of old, right, when the Lord sent them visions, right, they, wrote it down for our learning, right, and things of that such, right. These things are meant to happen. They're going to come to pass, right? Whether it's now, or a couple months from now, or a year from now, right? Like it say, wait for it. It shall come. It shall surely come. It will not tarry. So you got to know, understand that these things are surely going to come to pass, right?
So I just want to grab this AI overview just to back brothers up. I put in the Google. I say only the prophets could interpret dreams, and it says it's only those specifically empowered by God, often identified as prophets or individuals with the spirit of the Holy God, like Joseph and Daniel, could interpret dreams, while kings and magicians fail. Divine encoded dreams were decoded by individuals chosen by God. So like the brothers were saying, man, even these leaders, all right, even when you have these dreams and you don't want to believe it or you deny it, it's still it's still accurate, all right. It still has to come fast, and it's like these even with the world leaders like Bill Gates, the wealth, Trump. They have these plans for America, or they have these plans for the world. Ultimately, they plans to change tomorrow. Like, I don't know if y'all paying attention, but Trump, he everywhere right now, right?
I really think of the account with really reading. I'm looking at it right now. Once again, account with Nebuchadnezzar, man. Nebuchadnezzar, when he woke up the dream, he said, "Go get the magicians, go get all these people."
The Chaldeans, all them wise men.
Ultimately, the one he sought out, he wanted to sought out to go get Daniel because he understood Daniel was gonna be the one who would be able to break it down. But I don't, he didn't show him to him. I don't know if he can remember it. What I'm reading right now.
But even with Pharaoh, man, you gotta understand, Pharaoh believed on the Most High. So Pharaoh knew that the Most High was true. He knew his powers were true, but he still went after us. He still, his heart was hardened, right?
Because when you think about it, like you said, he knew it was true because when he tried to combat it at a point in time when they was going back and forth with he had his little magicians, but then was it Moses? I think it was
Moses and Aaron.
He had the staff. They were basically going back and forth, performing these works, which we know one of them was on the left hand side and one of them was on the right hand side. So like you're saying, he knew of it. He tried to combat it. But that's what we know.
You read Daniel 1-20, so the Most High really in the sleep. I'll use it real fast. Because the Most High, Daniel, he said he went to the king and told him he was going to interpret it for him, right? I started verse 16, Daniel 2:16 said, then Daniel went in and desired of the king that he would give him time that he would show the king the interpretation. And Daniel went to his house and made the thing known to Hananiah, Mishael, Azariah, his companion, and they will desire mercy of the power of heaven concerning the secret. Right? It says that Daniel, his fellows should not perish with the rest of the wise men of Babylon, because Nebuchadnezzar telling them, though, if y'all can't interpret this dream for me, y'all will be killed. Right? So he said, then was the secret revealed unto Daniel in a night vision. Then Daniel blessed the power of heaven. Then answered and said, blessed be the name of Yahweh forever and ever, for wisdom and might are his. Right? So how the brothers just read, it had to be given to you through spirit power, how about seeing for you to be able to break down those visions, and even for you to prophesy. So you can't call yourself a prophet or things that such, you're not a prophesying. So these pastors, these things that such, they not prophets, man. They're not prophesying to you. They're not telling you nothing was coming to pass, things that they came to pass. They can't interpret nothing for you, right? So the most are not dealing with them. They just read you certain scriptures, make you feel good about yourself. But the prophets are preparing you for the times to come. Just how they was called seers before, because they seeing visions, they seeing these things. The Most High, you got to think the feelings and things they was having when the Most High showing them these visions. He's showing Isaiah the aftermath of Babylon after it's destroyed, Isaiah 34. Right? He's seeing America filled with the wild animals. He's seeing destruction. He's seeing the slain of many. Right? Even with Ezra, right? Ezra said he was when he saw the vision after the war in heaven, it made him scared, you know. So they seen these things, they coming to tell you, but you know, Jake always see things from a corner sense. So when the prophet come to him, they won't be able to recognize it because it's a secret to get into the kingdom of Yahweh Shah. And those secrets revealed to those prophets ultimately unto the elect as well, you know, to be able to understand and still have the vision to see, you know, the things that they're being told.
I just want to add on. It really show you the importance of the prophet, man. It show you because I think in that same account, like you said, because he said he would promise the king was gonna kill all the people who couldn't interpret the dream. And I think he set Daniel up like second in command, or like he set him up like maybe a president or something like that. So it just shows you that even today, of course, what the scripture say, paraphrase, I have seen princes on the ground and servants upon horses. All right, showing you that ultimately we still over these people. All right, even though we're on a lower state, us having the power to interpret prophecy, dreams, all right, puts us over these people. All right.
I got a good precept with that. Proverbs 29:18 says, where there is no vision, the people perish. But he that keepeth the law, happy is he. So where there's no vision, people perish. That's why you got to think the Most High put a stumbling block on most to not to be able to see these visions, for them to understand it, for them to get it. You know, he got them in the spirit of slumber, spirit of sleep, so they won't be able to see these spiritual things. You know, the precept, I really like to bring out, what is that? 1 Corinthians 2:14, natural man can receive the natural man can't receive it because the spirit's not supplement, the spirit not dealing with him for him to be able to see these things to come. Because ultimately, it's all spiritual, right? But these visions gonna hit here, but it's all spiritual for you to be able to understand it, to see it, right? When you go to Jacob's trouble, right? When you go into World War III, right? The breakdowns of Isaiah, the breakdowns of Isaiah 13, Isaiah 34. You got a lot of scholars think that says, what they count that for? They think it's talking about Isaiah 13, talking about the ancient Babylon, but he's talking about America. You know, so for the ones who seen it for ancient Babylon, you think they prepared, you think they on their watchtower, you think they on point, knowing the destruction that's gonna come upon this place? No, you see what 2/3 are doing. Building life, building wealth, building the popularity within this world. But the ones who see it understand, this talking about America, guess what they're doing? It's departing spiritually, man. But turn it back to the Lord, because they can understand the destruction he's gonna bring.
Just bouncing off that point, like you had brought out with in 1 Corinthians 2, right? This is Romans 11 and 7, right? It says, what then? Israel have not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it, and the rest were blinded. According as it is written, the Most High have given them a spirit of slumber, eyes that they should not see, and ears that they should not hear, until this day, man. And like the scripture just said, until this day, the people, your everyday Israelite, right? Your everyday Jake, right? Your 2/3 Jake, they can't receive these things because it's not that time. They're like the Lord said, He reserved Himself, 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to Baal, right? So it's that remnant, right? Like I said, and like it said it in verse 6, but I didn't read it, but it's according to grace, right? The grace that He has on His elect, right? So when that 2/3 comes back in the kingdom, through the elect, then they'll have it, then they'll understand everything, then they'll be able to be who they were truly meant to be. But until then, we have to rely on the visions and prophecies and things of that nature that the prophets have laid before us.
Not to cut you off, but it's so spiritual that brothers receiving visions. It's about like in the movies, man. Like you'll receive a vision and you'll be like, shit. Almost like you say deja vu. Like I already seen it. Like I'm pretty sure it's brothers that got visions and dreams of the kingdom, and then in the kingdom they go like, oh, this is exactly what I seen. They're like, what?
Because that's how the Lord works. Like he deals with. He's always dealt with the prophets. You know what I'm saying? He's always dealt with. You know what I'm saying? Like the true men of the Lord. Right? He's always showed them things. So on and so forth, or had them be the ones to understand, all the things that's going on in the world.
Hebrews 1:1 says Yahweh, who at sundry times, in diverse manners, speaking at time past to the fathers by the prophets, right? Like what it's saying, he uses prophets to speaking to the people, right? Back. I want to think of that. 2 Kings.
it really just show you that you know, dreams are something that people always look at as a futuristic event. Like, all right, seeing into the future, because even you know what Martin Luther King said, I have a dream. All right, meaning he saw something to come to pass, right? So it's no secret that dreams mean future events, almost like time travel. When you go to sleep, you travel to the end of 2027 or whatever it may be.
Hey, somebody got it. Once it is in Second Samuel, where it talks about the prophets back then we call it the seers. Read real fast. Second Kings 17:13 says, "Yet the Lord testified against Israel and against Judah by all the prophets and all the seers." That's what the Spirit gonna show you. The seers was what the prophets were called in old days, right? It says, "Saying, turn you from your evil ways and keep my commandments and my statutes according to all the law which I commanded your father, which I sent to you by my servants, the prophets." Right? So the Most High spoke to the people through the prophets. He's showing you visions, he's showing you signs, he's showing you things, he's showing you the things to come through the prophet. Right? The brother read Romans 11:7, where it talks about how we've been seeking. Even when you go to John, it's telling you how John chapter 1 talks about how when they see he says how the child of Nazareth, but he tell them like what good thing come from Nazareth, right? But understanding that it was prophesied that Yahweh was going to come from Bethlehem, right? So it's showing you a point then how ultimately everybody wasn't able to understand and get what the prophecies meant, what the prophecies were sent, what the prophecy said. Everybody wasn't meant to get that, But you had these prophets who were able to come break it down and help you understand what these visions things mean. So the Most High would put these visions and these things in the minds of your prophets here to speak to the people, to show them what they were looking for, right? But ultimately, those 2/3 won't be able to get it. But understanding these prophets are not just speaking it to you from a carnal sense, man. That's why it's good you listen to the prophets, man. That's why the elders, when they doing videos of people dreams, things and stuff, because they showing you things. These are things. That's why they're able to interpret them, man. The account with Nebuchadnezzar is a perfect example for all of it. He having a dream, he can't understand it. He's seeking for someone who can break it down for him, and Daniel able to break it down for him. That's given unto the prophet. But for them to be able to break these dreams down, because these dreams are visions. These dreams are messages, man. Those are angels are messages. These are messages. For you to be able to understand these things.
Okay, so this is 1 Samuel 9. And I really get straight to the point. I started 6. I just read 6 and 7. It says, he said unto him, "Behold, now there is in this city a man of the Most High, and he is an honorable man. All that he saith surely cometh surely to pass like it. Now let us go thither. Peradventure he can show us our way that we should go." Then Saul said to his servant, "But behold, if we go, what shall we bring of the man? For the bread is spent in our vessels, and there is not a present to bring to the man of the Most High. What have we?" And the servant answered Saul and said, "Behold, I have here the hand of a fourth part of a shekel of silver that I will give to the man of the Most High to tell us our way." Verse 9 is the point. Before time in Israel, when a man went to inquire of the Most High, thus he spake, "Come, let us go to the seer. For he that is now called a prophet was before time called a seer."
He was now called a prophet. Before time was a seer. He able to see things, see into the future, man. So that Apostle Kabbalah, like I say, man, how about you gives you a glimpse into the future of what's to come. He done it on the counts, man. For you see into the future, for you to see, because Romans 15:4, Ecclesiastes 1:9, ain't nothing new under the sun. So these things that, how about you showing these things done happened before. That's why they're jotted down in the book. These things done came to pass before, right? Great trouble upon our land, great trouble upon our people. That done happened before. It's going to happen again. That's why it's jotted down as record. And I was trying to find that precept where it basically goes into, we don't have a cook one of them, but it's another precept I want to say to Jeremiah. I'm saying, write these down for a record, right? Record, meaning like so they can remember, for remembrance, so they can see it, right? So they can understand it. Because these things are wrote down so people can see and understand, like, okay, we done faced, we done went through this, we done went through that, or we finna go through this, we finna go through that, right?
That's why. Quick point. That's why Isaiah. That's why I say to the seers, see not. You know, cause why? Cause just going back to Jeremiah 28:8. Cause what was the seers doing? Prophesying the what? The downfall of America. Prophesying, this destruction, right? And what's the people in the world? What they want to do? They want to flourish in this thing, right? They want to be somebody in this kingdom, right? So when we prophesying the downfall of America and things like that, that's why they don't want us to see. That's why they don't want us to prophesy, right? Prophesy is to what? To say before, right? And they knowing that it's coming to pass and it's true, right? So that's why they don't want us to prophesy, man. And plus, people know that it's power of the tongue, right? Sometimes you will say something and it come to pass just like that. You like, damn, man. People like, man, you should have said that, right? But hey, that's the power of the tongue, though.
Kind of like if we on the highways and byways, somebody may come by, ignorantly and inquire, but what are y'all talking about? Right? We could say the gospel and they'll be like, oh, okay. As soon as you say the downfall of America, everything's shut down because now it's, that's what they don't want, right? Although, quite honestly, a lot of them do understand that America is trending downward, right? But they don't want to hear that, like the brother was just bringing out. They want to hear those smooth things. They don't want to hear, Babylon is probably not probably, but Babylon will be destroyed. Babylon, the dollar's going to be done away with, so on and so forth, right? They don't want to hear stuff like that. They want to hear those smooth things, right? Like,
and to back you up, quick point. Things are gonna happen a lot faster, man. Like things are gonna happen, like when like brother said, power in the tongue. Like it's even been accounts where I've seen a couple of accounts, like brothers been highways and byways. They'll be preaching and teaching, and then the very thing they say happened. It happened immediately. All right, so with us continually prophesying the downfall of America, America's gonna be new. Trump are gonna, people are gonna get great. People are gonna die. These things are gonna start happening immediately, and you know who they're gonna blame? They're gonna point the finger because they're gonna think, okay, how do these people know this? All right, how was their prediction so accurate? When it's not a prediction, it's prophecy. So we can expect to be again, like we brought last count, we can expect to go to court, go to trial, be locked up for what? For prophesying downfall of America and being right about it, right?
This was gonna lead into the famine of the word, right? Amos 8:11. Why we ain't gonna be able to go out on the highways, byways, and do lesson no more? Cause why they knowing everything that we are speaking of is what coming to pass is truth, right? How people be going to like that lady or something. They got that ball. What's that ball? They be paying for the machine to see.
like a psychic.
Yeah, things that says,
That's like they got the palm readers. They like read your hand.
Oh yeah, read your hand about the pattern. Yeah, about the pattern. They can tell how your lifespan is going to be. That's bullshit, man. But we here to prophesy, the truth, right? And that's the downfall of America.
I got a piece of real fast. I read it fast. I'll bring the point out. This is Psalm 68 and 11. Yeah, this is Psalm 68 and 11 says, the Lord gave the word. Great was the company of those that published it. Right? So the Lord gave the word, man. The Lord gave the blueprint. They're the ones who stand behind it, speaking into existence. What we're doing, we're speaking downfall of this place into existence. Each and every day. And you might look at it in a sense of thinking that you got time or like I said, but when the BNC, like Brother Sam, we seeing how fast rapidly it's coming. Right?
And that's how the Lord showed in the days. So things gotta speed up,
But I want I'll just bring this point out, right? Because the point how you say, how they're gonna be basically looking at the prophets and things and such as if, like, oh man, y'all said these things, or how they try to well you said you might got something to do with it. And it's well in a sense, we do spoken into existence. Right? You're ready for the place to fall. But the point, I want to say that's Revelation 11, 18 I was thinking where it talks about there's gonna be a judgment. Revelation 11. 18, Revelation 11, 18, right? It says that the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the town of the dead, that they should be judged, and thou shalt give an award to thy servants, the prophets, right? To the saints, right? The elect, the ones who call to be saints, right? He says, them that fear thy name, small and great, to destroy them, to destroy the earth. But the point is, right? They're gonna be judged, and the account understanding is ain't nobody gonna be able to say I didn't know nothing. Ain't nobody gonna be able to say, oh, I didn't hear that. You know, because the prophets are speaking this each and every day. Excuse me, but the prophets are speaking this each and every day. You know, the account Ezekiel 38, right, where it talks about, you know, when Russia, maybe God gonna come up against America and Israel, right? Ezekiel 38, 17 says, "This is the Lord Yahweh, art thou he of whom I spoke in old time by my servants the prophets of Israel, which prophesied in those days many years that I will bring thee against them," right? So it's talking how Most High, he been spoken this, right? Now you ain't seen Russia come up against America and Israel yet, right? But you're gonna see these things. Most High telling you this. The prophets been telling you about this from years. They were speaking of this for years, so it ain't nothing new. Ain't nobody gonna be able to say, "Oh, I didn't understand, I didn't get nothing, we didn't know it was gonna happen." Nah, that's why the Most High got his prophets out here, right? What we're speaking about full count, Ezekiel 3:17, give them warning from me. Now the brother mentioned earlier, you know, the Most High is speaking them through the prophets. You know, so the prophets are here to prophesy and give you. It's also me to Jake. It's a warning, man. You know, hey, this place is gonna be destroyed. This place is gonna be brought down. Like the brother saying, you know, they don't want to hear those things. They don't want to hear the downfall. They don't want to hear what's gonna happen with them. Because Jake don't want to go through no more distress, which we done went through before. Jake want to find a way where it's gonna be peace, where it's gonna be comfort, which that you're never gonna find that here. So the prophet's telling you. He also, not only is he prophesying the downfall of this place, but he's prophesying the kingdom will be how about outside. But he's telling you there will be peace, but there will be comfort. But Jake done got too comfortable in the spot he's standing there, so Jake don't want to lose his seat, man. Jake don't want to move.
I got a precept back to look. This is Ezekiel 33 and 33. It reads, "And when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come, then shall they know that a prophet has been among them."
Even seeing that, man, you know, you got. I remember that. I think I missed the last count. The account, El Pastor Ryan did a video on it. It was a long time ago. It was the guy. He was on a little podcast. And the dude basically saying, "Yeah, man, the prophets are the guys who buy the hospitals and who own this and that, own this and that." You know, that's not prophets. So you look at those. You see how people so built up. Look at those guys as prophets now. But think about it. And when Tickle's trouble hit, World War III hit, guess what you're gonna be saying? Oh no, true prophets was right in front of us. We just didn't pay attention to it. We ignored it. We didn't see it, right? When these things come to pass, why you know, you got to understand. Even when we went to the count with Yahweh Shah, it's how you got to understand how strong prophecy is and how humble you got to be under Yahweh Shah. Because when you understand it, Yahweh Shah knew prophecy and things that had to fulfill with him laying down things, so he ain't act out against them when they trolling him, mocking him. Things like today. Oh man, y'all been saying that for years. Oh, we're supposed to end 2012. We're supposed to end such and such this day. We're supposed to end this and that. Okay, keep playing it. But when they do pop off, your unbelief ain't gonna stop the belief that we have. So when it do come to pass, just know that when that time do hit, hey, you gonna know a prophet done been among you. You gonna know that Yahweh outside gave you warning. That's why the scriptures say, give them warning, right? Because so the blood won't be in your hands. Because if you don't listen. You know, if you don't pay attention to what's said to you, then you're gonna be destroyed utterly, right? And then it's not gonna be on the prophet, it's not gonna be on the sincere man how about outside. Because they did what he said them to do. That's a part of the covenant. The covenant's agreement. You do a part, I do a part, right? Okay.
I'm gonna read that precept that you just brought out. It's Romans 3:3. Right? It says, "For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? Most High forbid." Yeah, let the Most High be true, but every man a liar. As it is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy sins and mightest overcome when thou art judged. And so, like the brother was just bringing out, you know, we honestly don't give a damn, you know, who believe us or who don't, you know, because ultimately it's not going to change anything. We know what's going to happen, you know. So rather you say, the Most High wouldn't destroy this place. You know, he wouldn't do this, he wouldn't do that. Well, that's just you being ignorant of the scriptures, right? You err not knowing the scriptures. You don't understand truly who, you know, the Father is, right? The scriptures tell you what he's a man of war, right? It tells you he's the King of terrors, right? He tells you he's the Lord of hosts, right? All these types of things, right? You know, so you again that just goes into that you err not knowing the scriptures, man. You know, we really don't give a damn who believes and who don't.
Quick precept, just going on both of y'all points, right? And scripture. So this 2 Peter 3, I started verse 3 in NLT. It said, most importantly, I want to remind you that in the last days, scoffers will come, mocking the truth and following their own desires. Verse 4 being the point, they will say, what happened to the promise that Yahushua is coming again? From before the times our ancestors, everything has remained the same since the world was first created. So just like the brother was saying, how we've been missing these things and it haven't came to pass, and they feel like, oh man, y'all been saying the world's gonna end in 2000, year 2000, the year 2012, right? But and it haven't happened yet. So they're like saying, hey, what's the promise? Y'all saying that, hey, the world's supposed to end. Hey, well, it said it haven't happened yet, right? They have that spirit of doubt, right? But when it comes to pass, then that's when they go realize, like, oh shit, the whole time they was telling the truth, right? That's going back to that Ezekiel 33 and 33, because why? They go see, oh, this whole time they was telling the truth. And that's why when they see Yahushua, right, come back with the angel, that's why they go try to hide their face from them, because why? They gonna know that they're gonna be ashamed, right? They gonna try to hide it and try to act blind, whatever the case may be, to try to act like they ain't know, but in reality, they knew, they just ain't believe.
I got a precept back you up on it today. I had some to say, but I'm gonna read real quick. Jeremiah 27, I'm losing that point back too. I thought it verse 6, it says, and thou for sure now that dwell that's why Ezekiel 3, when it said eat the whole roll, when not going into that, and talking about how the most high man have forehead, strong as their forehead. And that's just because you're gonna have the ones that mock, you're gonna have the ones who, they gonna turn their ear from it, right? Even though teaching is truth, right? Matter of fact, you can read that last precept again. With those the same.
This 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 4 in the NLT said they will say, what happened to the promise that Yahushua is coming again? From before the times of our ancestors, everything has remained the same since the world was first created.
So I'm gonna read this Jeremiah 27. It says, O Lord, thou hast deceived me and I was deceived. Thou art stronger than I, hast prevailed. I am in derision daily, and everyone mocked me. For since I spake, I cried out. I cried violence and spoil, because the word of the Lord Yahweh was made a reproach unto me, and derision daily. Right? So how did brother read about how the mocking, they was doing that to Jeremiah, how they was mocking him. Jeremiah prophesying to him, teaching to him, they mocking him. Like, man, you saying all these things, ain't nothing happening, ain't nothing coming to pass. Right? But until it actually popped, then boom. Now they want to understand what he's saying. Now they want to try to seek him out to find him, to see what he was saying. That's why he goes into the family of the word. You're not going to be able to find the prophet. You're not going to be able to find a sister man. Okay, how about Shah? You can read that.
I got a quick precept too. Isaiah 24:11. There's a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. And why is it gonna be that crying out in the street? Because why they gonna realize that we was telling the truth this whole entire time. And now they gonna be, oh damn, man, what's the name of the Heavenly Father? Or what's the Savior name again? And what you say will go happen to America? Or what are you supposed to hear that? They gonna be trying to wondering and having all these questions, but we ain't gonna have no answer to them. Because why? The Lord go shut our mouth. The Lord go have our tongue cleaved to the roof of our mouth. Right? Meaning what? That He go shut us up.
I'll finish this off, right? Verse 9, it says, Then I said, I will not make mention of him, nor speak any more in his name, for his word was in my heart, in his mind, as a burning fire, shut up in my bones, and I was weary with forbearing, and I could not stay. So Jeremiah, he was pointing, so they was mocking him so bad, he was like, man, I ain't gonna teach the word no more. I ain't even teach you no more. But he's like, but the spirit was on him. He was like fire. We understand the spirit is fire, right? Mm-hmm. It was on him, and he couldn't hold back. He couldn't stop teaching the word. The spirit was on him to get out there and do it, right? Because ultimately, once again, Ezekiel 3, it's a wonder for the Most High. It's supposed to teach the word to the truth, giving warning. They don't listen to it. Hey, it's up to them. That's why once again, He made our forehead strong as their forehead. He made us. He put us in a sense to where the spirit on us, we don't care about what you say, like the brother brought out. We don't run from being mocked, being tried, being Drewski doing skills. We don't run from that. They ain't gonna stop us from doing these sit down. We on the highways and byways. They ain't gonna stop us from classmates walking by seeing us. Oh, what they out there doing? This dude look foolish. He did this, he did that. Nah, man, it's okay. Because in the end time, it's gonna speak. In the end time, you're gonna understand the work that we're doing is not of us, man. It's the will of Yahweh. You got Ezekiel.
And I'm really gonna read all the way down because it's good to hear. But I'm gonna start at 21. I'm just gonna read down.
And this the account as I mentioned earlier about how
What's that?
Ezekiel 12.
when the Babylonians was coming to this or you read this account, this when the Babylonians came and eventually took over our nation, but Most High using Ezekiel as a vision to show them what's going to happen if they don't listen. They use the prophet Ezekiel to speak to them, right? But they didn't want to listen to him. They mocking him. And you going to listen to what they say. And the Most High going to tell you, hey, all right, y'all keep playing around this vision. What? But
So this is Ezekiel 12 and 21. It says, "And the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, what is that proverb that ye have in the land of Israel, saying, the days are prolonged, and every vision faileth?"
you want to go into it?
Kind I can't. So again, this is the Most High speaking, saying, you know, like it's basically like in a worldly sense, like what y'all be saying, like y'all be saying like basically what I say not gonna happen, or I'm lying or something, like that's basically what he's saying. Like what is that saying? You know, damn near being funny. You know, verse 23 it says, "Tell them therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, I will make this proverb to cease, and they shall no more use it as a proverb in Israel, but say unto them, the days are at hand, and the effect of every vision.
Days are at hand to affect every vision, right? That's why. Guess what? Yahweh Shai tell them, you know, there will be signs and wonders. You know, there will be signs and things to show you. Those little faith boosters for the elect, the ones who see the vision. You know, they don't have the vision. You know, there's no vision. They perish, right? Because they don't have the spiritual eye to see, you know, the signs and the wonders, things that we see, right? So there's signs and wonders to show you that, hey, these things are in effect. These visions are in effect. You know, these things, you know, Jacob's trouble is in effect. They don't see it, right? It ain't just all the way ramped up, right? But Jacob's trouble is in effect, man. It's at a point where it's the car crunk up. It ain't just pulled out going 100 miles per hour yet, but it's warming up, man.
I think the MOTB already around. You know, people are already getting that you know, that C-hip in their hands and things of that nature, right? These things are already happening.
Quick precept. 2 Ezra 9 and verse 1, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou sayest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it's the very same time when the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. I'm going to jump down to verse 5. He said, for like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and the end, and the end is manifest, right? And I just want to grab it because how you were speaking about it in Ezekiel, right? And I'm going to finish off at verse 6. It said, even so the towns also the highest have plain beginnings and wonder and powerful works and endings and effects and signs, right? And we're seeing these effects and signs now. That's how the brothers just gave y'all a couple of examples.
So what else talking about? I'll read 23 again. So Ezekiel 12 and 23 it says, tell them therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, I will make this proverb to cease, and they shall no more use it as a proverb in Israel, but say unto them, the days are at hand, and the effect of every vision. For there shall be no more any vain vision or flattering divination within the house of Israel. For I am the Lord. I will speak, and the word that I shall speak shall come to pass, and it shall no more be prolonged. For in your days, O rebellious house, will I say the word and perform it, saith the Lord Yahweh, right? And it's saying your days, and you can really read deeper into it and realize your days being what? In the regeneration. As it's going to continue on to kind of explain that point, but I just wanted to show how that could be truthful.
I got a precept right back. I can just quote it, I can't find it. But what is that? This generation shall not pass to all be revealed.
That's perfect precept.
Matthew, I know it's one of Matthew.
Matthew 34, but I say unto you, this generation shall not pass all things revealed. That's how shall tell them that. And also Matthew 23 and 30 say, but I say unto you, all these things shall come upon this generation. So you know, it's a precept going into showing you how you know these things are coming to pass, gonna come upon this generation. It ain't no escaping. That's why even go scriptures tell you how you know the dead gonna be raised up. You know, if you have elected among the dead, you know they'll be to charity, but those the ones who ain't, that's what they're gonna receive that judgment, man. Nobody gonna skip it.
Okay, so this is verse 26. Right, Ezekiel 12:26. It says again, the word of the Lord came to me saying, Son of man, behold, They of the house of Israel say the vision that he seeth is for many days to come, and he prophesieth of the times that are far off. Therefore say unto them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, there shall none of my words be prolonged any more, but the word which I have spoken shall be done, saith the Lord Yahweh. And again, it's like that in a regeneration. So right now, you have people saying, man, that ain't gonna happen. Or like you said earlier, man, niggas were saying it was gonna end in 2012, and who was that? Vocab, and them they like to try to come against the elder apostles of GMS and say, well, y'all said he was gonna come back in the year 2000, right? But that's just a mockery, man. That's just like you saying, it ain't gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna happen no time soon. So on and so forth. But like the Lord just said, those days are no longer prolonged, right? And like the brother Naaman was bringing out, we see prophecy unfolding on a day-to-day basis, constantly, right? When you had, for an example, your Second Esdras 11, right? With all the Roman emperors, right? All that came to pass, there's multiple prophecies that have come to pass, but like the scriptures say, by measure hath he measured time, by number hath he numbered the time. He has not moved nor stirred them until the said measure be fulfilled, man. All these things have already been laid out, and they're happening according to his plan, not according to your plan, her plan, their plan. To hell with y'all plan. It's all according to your how about your shot, and you got it already laid out. You got to move according to his time.
Good point. And it's the scripture that talks about the end times, the Euphrates River gonna dry up.
It's drying up.
Yeah, I searched it up. It's like it's a sign to show you how these visions are in effect. Right? I searched up. If the river of Euphrates is drying up. It's AI overview. Right? Yes, the Euphrates River is drying up at an alarming rate due to climate change, severe droughts, and increased water consumption. So that's just a point right there to show you that you ain't just gonna see like we ain't just saying that hey tomorrow the MOT be coming, then World War III hit. We ain't saying it like that. That's why how about I said we gotta have patience in the truth. You gotta have patience. You gotta patience work of faith. You gotta keep faith because it could pop off tomorrow. It could pop off. Yes, they could pop off whenever it do. But ultimately, through that time being and when it through that time being understanding, we know this gonna come to pass. We ain't moving like these 2/3 saying, oh, well, we got time. But let me go run me up a few thousand right quick, take you some trips across the world. Then I'm gonna come to the truth. All right, go ahead. That's why the scriptures tell you, putting out off day to day, because no man knoweth the hour. The account I was going to read, Acts 1, when they say, when, it's a time when the Lord restored the kingdom unto Israel. And I was telling him, man, no man knows the time, not the Father, not the Son, only the Father, man. So nobody knows the time except for the Father. That's why you got to be on your watchtower at all times. You got to be on point at all times. You can't play around with the Most High. All that mockery and games. The Most High play around with you this way, let you feel like you come, let you feel like you good. Let you why you play around with Esau. Esau think you good. I plan working out exactly how he wanted to, man. We gonna drop this chip. We gonna do this and that. As soon as they do what they think they gonna do, the Most High gonna wrap it up on them.
Okay, that dollar gotta crash first, and then once the dollar crash, right, that's when they gonna implement their new billing system or the new revenue system, as in the RFID chip. Right, then World War III go pop off, because that's why wars really happen is off the money, right?
It's always been that, man.
You feel me, from the money, right? So when that dollar crashes and they implement the MOTB and World War III start, hey, that's when y'all will buy y'all shot can return back at any moment.
You got Jacob's trouble that's coming from that, because how you gonna last in this society without getting that MOTB?
That's why I say in the days of Noah, as it also be as a son of man be, right? How they went off, drinking, marrying and such, and it's gonna be the same way, because why people gonna take their RFID chip and they're gonna be back to living their normal lives, right? That's the only way. That's why I say it's gonna be after the days of Noah, right?
That's a great point. I had to listen to we used to go going to the fact when you read Genesis 2, when they go into the record, how the powers Elohim, right? How they created the heavens and the earth, right? And how there was no rain, it was mist. It was mist. You come outside, you have a mist on the ground. And people they mocking because
it ain't never rained before. What the hell is you talking about?
Yeah, so and they saying time out. I be saying, y'all saying that, man, ain't no war never happened over here in America. Ain't no wars happening on this soil. Ain't like they army base over here. Who gonna take down America? Who gonna do this and that?
That's that pride in their heart.
You gonna see it. That's why you gonna see it. That's why most I said when I said my skirts in their mind, I remove pride from them, right? But most I hate pride. He moved their pride from them so they can see. But ultimately, we'll see their moves and understand the elect. The elect will see the moves and things that's going on. Understand? Okay, that's the Most High moving him for this to go down. But they see it. They don't see it that way. When the Most High make them do something, that's why you gotta understand. Ain't no coincidence. The Most High make them do something. It's because He said them to do it, right? What is that precept? Basically going into how to leaf off a tree, and Most High not said to do it, man. Nothing happened without how about you how ordained that to happen. So all these things that happen with these visions, the things that these elites, these leaders, what they do, going to do this, going to do that, it's all the Most High showing the men who are paying attention on that watchtower that we get closer and closer. These divisions are at hand, and these effect, these visions are in effect.
There you go.
And it just backs up the point, man, that brother was making. Ezekiel 7:25, and it reads, "Terror and trembling will overcome my people. They will look for peace, but not find it. Calamity will follow calamity. Rumor will follow rumor. They will look in vain for a vision from the prophets. They will receive no teaching from the priests and no counsel from the leaders." All right, so a time is going to come, like the brother was saying, man. The time is going to come where people are going to wish they had. Listen, man. Everything is going to eventually come true. Everything is going to eventually come to pass, and that's why the scripture says, to paraphrase it, no jot, no tittle shall not pass. All right. So what the Most High gonna do is He gonna make sure He do everything that He said He did. He gonna break Esau all the way down. He gonna break Babylon all the way down. Meaning it's gonna be no more fighting in this world. There's gonna be no more fighting the people. All right. The people are gonna, there's gonna be nothing else to do, right? Because every prophecy is gonna be no came to pass. Literally every prophecy, except for us, reuniting the kingdom of heaven, right?
So I can close out, right? Go into the fact about how they're gonna be trying to search, but it ain't gonna be a point. Like when you go into Lamentations 2, when it's going to the downfall of Jerusalem, that happened with us, when our homeland was destroyed. The prophet wasn't seeing no vision no more. They basically trying to figure out what's going on, but when it hit, right? So it's Lamentations 2 and 8, in verse 9, it says the Lord has purpose. The Lord has purpose proposed. Like, the Lord Yahweh has proposed to destroy the wall of the daughter of Zion. He has stretched out a line. He has not withdrawn his hand from destroying. Therefore, He made the rampart, the walls of Lament, His language together. Her gates are sunk into the ground. He destroyed and broken her bars. Her king and princes are among the Gentiles. The law is no more. Her prophets also find no vision. Lord Yahweh. Right. So when that destruction hit, it ain't gonna be no more. What a prophet. Hey, what you said? No, it ain't gonna be no more of that. When it hit, it's gonna hit. And the ones who hearken, who are willing to move to account what the Lord said them to do. The ones who didn't, then you're gonna face the destruction of Yahweh.
Right. It won't be no more points for vision. Right, but we'll be in the vision.
They're gonna see that. They're gonna understand now that everything that the prophets have spoke about is here. Like the account with them and Lamentations. They told them over and over what's gonna happen. They want this. Now it's hit. Now they're looking for a way out. Ain't no way out.
All right. And with that, and Lord willing, just sit down and satisfy. Next time, let's close out like all praise, all honor, and all glory to the Most High.
Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahushua B'Hashem Kakadash.
Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom, and shalom to you.
Shalom.
Shalom.